Before we hop into today's Chiefs report, if you want Kansas City to make a trade before training camp, I want you to like this video. Hit that thumbs up icon if you want the Chiefs to make a splashy move before training camp, because coming up on today's show, we got some trade discussion in the works, so stay tuned. Here we go. My name's Harrison Graham, and you're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports, and today's show is sponsored by Roan. I'm rocking one of their summer polos right now. You could do the same and get 20% off at roan.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS at checkout. Okay, on today's show, we're going to take a look at 3 blockbuster trade targets, 3 players that I think could help this Chiefs team out in 2023, as the roster is mostly in a very good spot, but I think one spot in particular that could be upgraded. You'll kind of catch a drift on what that is as we go along. Let's get to the first player here, Danielle Hunter, the Vikings edge rusher that has been reported to be potentially available, at least for Minnesota. He skipped mandatory minicamp and was considered a holdout there. And there's been reports circulating that Danielle Hunter could be had potentially in a trade between now and training camp, or at least between now and week 1. Now, I'm not saying the Vikings are actively shopping Danielle Hunter, but I think if they received proper trade value, sounds like a second-round pick and then some, then Minnesota would be willing to part ways on that front. I think Hunter would help this Chiefs defensive line out tremendously. He's an excellent pass rusher and has been very, very productive in his career. He was the fastest player to reach 50 sacks in NFL history. You look at last year, he had 10.5 sacks in just 7 games. The year before, he had 6. Had the neck injury in 2020, which could give some teams some pause, but seemed to be fully healthy last year and kind of got right back to where he was prior to the neck injury. And I just kind of project forward what this defensive line could be if they were able to acquire Danielle Hunter. I mean, you pair him with Chris Jones, that's a lethal duo. I mean, that is a very, very, very good pairing on the defensive line in terms of players who can go and get the quarterback. I mean, if you imagine plugging Danielle Hunter into this defensive line, regardless of what side it is, regardless of if Karlaftis or Amenahue takes a step back in the starting lineup, I don't really care, because A, it creates more depth, and B, again, the Jones-Hunter pairing would just be so fun to watch in Kansas City, and Steve Spagnuolo would absolutely love it. The production would be there. It would be a sight to see. Now, here's my trade idea that I cooked up. Danielle Hunter to the Chiefs for a 2024 second-round pick and a 2024 fourth-round pick. Would you do this trade? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Get your votes in down in the comment section below. I think I would, because it's going to be a late second. It's going to be a late fourth, say the 60th pick, and somewhere in the hundreds. I would pull the trigger on that because I'm trying to win Super Bowls if I am Kansas City. Next up on our blockbuster trade targets video here on the Chiefs Report, how about Vita Vea, the defensive tackle with the Buccaneers? We haven't talked about him much this offseason, but I think he's worth exploring here. But before we do that, let's tell you guys a little bit more about our sponsor today. That is Roan. Again, I'm rocking the summer polo right here. Get 20% off at roan.com/chatsports, because what Roan has done is reinvented the male's closet. They stepped up to the challenge and have provided the most comfortable, breathable, inflexible set of products known to man. And here is why. Roan's going to get you ready for any occasion with their commuter collection, which offers the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Roan Commuter Collection. Their 4-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life may throw your way, whether it's going to work, whether it's traveling, or maybe when you're going out to play a round of golf. Looking good has always been easy. There's plenty of good-looking clothes out there, but feeling good is the key, and that's what Roan has provided with their wrinkle release technology. Those wrinkles disappear, and with the stretchy fabric, you're feeling comfortable as well. Best part about Roan is they are machine washable clothes. You can throw these clothes in the washing machine, air dry them, and you are good to go. No more checks every month to the laundromat for dry cleaning. You are good to go. Roan.com/chatsports. Code chatsports. That's going to get you 20% off when you check out. Go get started with Roan today. That link and promo code is in the description and comments of this video. Let's talk about Vita Vea here as, look, he's kind of a staple within the Bucs organization. His contract makes it tricky to trade for Tampa, but if they designate him as a post-June 1, which obviously it's after June 1st, but if they make it that type of designation and kind of drag out the cap hits over the next few years, then it actually doesn't severely hurt their cap this offseason or moving forward. Now, Vita Vea as more of a nose tackle would be really fun on this defense, right? I mean, Chris Jones has never played with just an awesome nose tackle. Colin Saunders had a good year last year. Derek Notty's been good at times, but Vita Vea is a good run stopper, but he's also coming off a career year in terms of sacks as well, in which he had 6.5 with Tampa. They did some different things with him last year, so I don't think he would provide that much sack production, but I think he'd give you 3, maybe 4, but more importantly, just anchor that run defense. That way Chris Jones and these edge rushers could just eat as pass rushers. Vita Vea is a guy that you have to account for. He's 6'4", 350 pounds. You have to put multiple blockers on him, and you want to talk about an elite defensive tackle duo. You tell me who would be a better defensive tackle duo in the NFL than Chris Jones and Vita Vea. These guys would move mountains in Steve Spagnuolo's defense, both from a literal standpoint because they're strong as hell, but just in general, right? Like, this would just be such a dynamic pairing at that defensive tackle position moving forward. It would take pressure off Derek Notty, Keandre Coburn, Tershawn Wharton, guys who will rotate in. I like this idea a lot. Not sure if Vita Vea is available, but if he were to be, I would definitely be interested. Now, Vita Vea is one of my favorite non-Chiefs NFL players. Just love watching him play. His game is fun to watch. Who is your favorite non-Chiefs player in the NFL? I know it's hard, but get away from your squad for a sec. If you had to pick one player in the league that you love watching, not playing for the Chiefs, let me know who that player is. Maybe it's Montez Sweat. That's who we'll talk about next year. A lot of buzz around Chase Young. Maybe the Commanders be willing to ship him out, and we've certainly talked about him quite a bit here on the Chiefs Report. But I want to mention Montez Sweat too, because Montez Sweat is entering the 5th and final year of his rookie contract, just like Chase Young's entering the 4th and final year of his rookie contract. And these are two dynamic edge rushers, and Montez Sweat is a more proven commodity in this league than Chase Young. Chase Young had a good rookie year, and then he's had injuries ever since. Montez Sweat in 2021 missed some time with injuries, but for the most part has been able to stay healthy, and he's been pretty productive while he's been able to do so in his NFL career. And the reality is for Washington, they're going to have to make a call because they've already paid Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. I think it's unlikely that they'll be able to pay and keep both Chase Young and Montez Sweat, so maybe they dangle one of these guys in a trade. Now, full disclosure, this probably is more of a midseason trade. I think Washington's going to go all in this year and try to contend because Ron Rivera is on the hot seat as the head coach, but say they're struggling early on, they may choose to trade one of Chase Young or Montez Sweat. Sure, if you can get him before training camp, even better, but Montez Sweat, when you look at his career, 7 sacks, 9 sacks, 5 sacks, 8 sacks. And again, that 5-sack season was the one year he missed some time with injuries. It would have been probably another 7, 8, 9 sacks there. So he's been very consistent. He's a good run stopper as well. And he's more proven, like I said, than Chase Young. And he's only 1 year older in terms of NFL experience. So I don't think we're talking about Montez Sweat nearly enough. I don't mean just here on the Chiefs Report, but in general, like, I think he's a guy who could be gotten at some point. And why not the Chiefs, right? He's young. You could plug him into this young nucleus on this defensive line. He could kind of be the quote-unquote leader of guys like George Karlaftis, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, Michael Dana, guy who's been around the block a little bit more and had more individual success, while he, on the flip side, he could chase that team success, something he has not had during his time in Washington. So there you go. Pick a trade for me. Who would you rather trade for before week 1? Type DH for Danielle Hunter. Type VV for Vita Vea. Type MS for Montez Sweat. I think Hunter is the guy who's most attainable just because he has been on the trade block a little bit. But if you told me the Chiefs got any of these 3 players, I'd be thrilled. Let me know who you want, Hunter, Vea, or Sweat. All right, guys, appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Chiefs Report. If you want more Chiefs videos, hit that subscribe button. We're continuing to bring you coverage every single day here on the Chiefs Report. We'll be back tomorrow with another video.